Hi, everyone. This is Adam, and thanks for joining us here. Um, Also from Joseki Tech with me today, I have Dan, our VP of Engineering, and Jasmine, our Director of Marketing.
How
Thanks,
you doing
everybody.
today,
Doing doing good.
Hello,
So we
hello.
brought everybody together today. We're going to show a little bit more about HubBoost, which is our generative AI integration between HubSpot and OpenAI to help sales guys get that first email out with a little more personalized content. And we're going to do a little bit of test and tuning on that. So with that, Dan, you want to bring up the app and we'll start from a baseline email.
All right, so we're in HubSpot here, and we're already driven into the contact section. Okay, Mr. Bill. Okay, so we've navigated to the contact, and we'll select email to create an email. This is the standard pop-up within HubSpot itself, and this is also the first place where you get to see the HubBoost plugin that we wrote. This is the first place that it presents and surfaces. So pressing on the HubBoost will pop another pop-up, but it will also submit a request to OpenAI, and it will use various pieces of information of the contact, including the name and the title, and any about information that contact may have written about themselves on LinkedIn. And it'll use that information, and it'll use the magic of AI in order to try and generate a more personalized sales letter. So let's click HubBoost. See that in action. Okay, and this is the first rendition of AI attempting to write a personalized letter to Bill Gates. With that, I think, Jasmine, I'll turn to you for some feedback.
This is going to be a little bit of our test and tune so that we can see essentially what the current downfalls are of this. So I'm just going to take a quick peek at this, decide what it is that we like or do not like about this exact immediate offering from HubBoost, and then tweak it using our feedback section. So I'm going to take a second to read it. I hope this message finds you well. So this is great and talks a lot about us at first. And I would say that from somebody who wants to get sold something, I want to know why it is that we're targeting me in the first place. So, kind of having the first paragraph be more focused and geared toward the client rather than the business that is trying to sell, I think would be a better bet. So, maybe starting off with like a compliment from their work history or whatever's in their about section so that they know that that portion of their career is why we are contacting them in the first place. So we want to just let them know, like, this is
Sure,
all that we do. We want to start off with this is what you do, and this is how what we do, and this is how we can work together.
sure. I guess for starters, what we have here from a feature perspective or capabilities is the ability to give feedback right away. So this is meant to be part of an iterative loop, just like you use ChatGPT. You ask it to do a thing for you, it does a thing, and you have the ability to tweak it conversationally. So for starters, we could try that feedback here. Here we're going to compliment the contact on their professional achievements. So let's see what impact this has. So this essentially that feedback gets added to the conversation with AI, and AI tries again.
How much do you think it costs to license the Jeopardy music?
Alrighty, so we got something up. I'd like to extend my sincerest admiration for the unparalleled impact. That works way better because for someone like Bill Gates, who is so notable already, we need to make sure that obviously everyone knows who he is, uh, but we want to make sure that with that last sentence that we have added in there, at Joseki Tech, we harness the power of technology to enhance the effectiveness of organizations committed to making a difference, much like yours. So now we have connected the initial person to our, like, why we are contacting them and why we think we would make a difference. So that's a much better beginning. I would say that a compliment isn't necessarily the way that we need to go, but just a connection to the person. So maybe we can kind of remove the feedback, let's compliment their professional achievements, and let's try to just say, start off the conversation with a connection between them and Joseki Tech.
Let's give that a try. Now, AI's ability to make that connection will be, based on the context information, essentially, whatever we have in the about available to it, and whatever we've supplied to it on behalf of Joseki Tech from like a knowledge base. So our assistant has a knowledge base and it is aware of Joseki Tech as an entity. It's aware of who works there, what their skill sets are, the positions. It's also aware of the offerings of Joseki. We can read through here and see what it did. But the result is kind of based on what
So
information it had to work with.
using this initially, it does have all the information about Joseki Tech because we are the ones that created it. But also with connecting it with HubSpot and LinkedIn specifically, we also have a good amount of information about the people that we're trying to contact and the people that they have in their contacts as well. So I think a great next step to kind of enhance this message alone would be to bring in, for example, Melinda. So they know right now that we're talking to Bill. So we're talking to Bill Gates right now, but it is the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And so Melinda has a whole different sect of information that she works with and businesses that she runs. So saying the work that you lead at Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, I know that the work that you've done with blank and the work that Melinda has done with blank gives us a little bit more of that background of we know what you're doing and we know why it is that we think that we are the best option for you.
Sure, sure.
But
So,
for right now,
so Dan, a question. So when we add more feedback, so let's say we want to add, highlight more about the work that we do we need to add that to the feedback, or can we just start over with a new sentence and say, and highlight what we did? I mean, does it build the conversation, or do we start at the beginning each time? Or
It's actually additive, so it's adding it to the conversation as we go. You saw in the last one, I kind of blanked
yeah,
out the feedback and added, just wrote it new. So yeah, we don't need to keep the feedback around. It's smart enough. It's you're adding feedback. You keep adding feedback into the point at which you are outside
okay. So
AI's
just to
conversational
try
window.
it, can we
We don't
say
need to
like
dive
make it
into
funnier?
those. Yeah,
Not that this is something we would use, but just
there's lots of ways that you can ask it to be funnier, right? You can say use a funnier tone, be more humorous. There's a lot of ways to do it. This is affectionately known as prompt engineering. You ask the right question,
yeah.
you get a better answer.
Okay, not exactly perfect, but it shows what we're talking about.
it took the idea of having fun without any specific kind of indication of what we think is fun and just added some funny terms. So
Yes, a
something
little.
that we added the other day that I thought was pretty funny was I asked in the feedback session like talk to me about unicorns and it gave some pretty interesting feedback in a way that integrated it into what we were talking about while also still making it a little bit more lighthearted.
the so we're all for rainbows and unicorns, but I don't know that's going to really close any deals for us. But
It's
one,
not, but it shows a little bit of
yeah,
how we
exactly. No, it's a good time. The
move it around.
I think it's good to have examples where we're doing something dramatic just so we can see how it's affecting change. But one thing that we hit on here that I think is really the core of what we always want to be doing is we want to be sending sales messages that are more personalized. So when they read it, they can say, okay, this is a person that understands a little about what I'm doing. We can start to form a connection between our sales guy and our lead to say, we're people that can help you solve your problem and start to build that conversation. So I don't want to have to go in here every time and put the feedback in. I want to say, okay, as the sales manager, I want all my sales guys to be following these rules. So how do I tweak our system so that
Sure.
it's not each person doing the feedback, but it's just sort of a better starting position?
Sure. Let me cycle back because you guys started with the very first one you started with was good. You did compliment the contact for their professional achievements. So rather than having everybody have to type that in, you want to more or less institutionalize that, right? You want to tell AI to always kind of do that. That's just a simple matter of going to the assistant that we built for this and given it a little bit better instruction. So I'm going to switch tabs here. I have OpenAI up in the background, and I'm going to proceed to our assistants. We have a couple of assistants written because we're testing different things, but the important one here is HubBoost. And this is the initial assistant we used, just straight up open API, and we gave it an initial set of instructions. So, it's a salesman trying to compose a sales email. There's some instructions here, things like we wanted to shorten it to 2 paragraphs, and we wanted to have it less than 200 words, and it messes up the name once in a while. So we gave it explicit instructions to try and, put up some guardrails and keep it on the road here. So, and we took that exact feedback you guys gave that we put into the feedback section, and we can add it right into the assistant instructions here. So that it's as simple as that. Yeah. Anyways, you'll be able to get out of the screenshot.
So if we just close that, does it start a whole new conversation? Okay, so let's start from scratch again. Just hit the old HubBoost button.
If it doesn't start a new conversation from there, it will if I restart the email. So we'll see if it's silly email or not here, right?
Serious admiration. Yeah, this is looking more like what we did before. It starts with a compliment. Excellent. So I think this is really cool steps. And what I'd like us to be doing, there's going to be some more features we're going to be adding to the tool and some more tuning we're going to need to do. So when we get together next time, let's look at the starting place a little bit more. So something we talked about previously was, as opposed to the full body of the starting position being over there on the AI side, we have some of it that it just pulls in the template. So essentially the starting instructions are improve this email, so that we'll be able to have Jasmine or I can go in to the templates on HubBoost and drop the copy in right here. And that when we click HubBoost, it'll start from that position. So I think that'll be a good feature that'll give us a lot more ways to dodge and weave. I think that's going to be one avenue of our next discussion. And the other one I think is really going to be around prompt engineering. So getting together so we understand as users of the system how to better use it so we can get better results. I think one of the things we're going to see that'll be interesting in these next couple of weeks is how do we get these emails to be better and better and better with little tweaks. I don't think our goal is to have the perfect email. If you got a guy on your sales team that's been doing this for 30 years, he's going to be better than AI. And I think that's true of AI across the board. But the trick is we want him to be better than your average sales guy. We want to codify the rules that you want all your sales guys following so that we're tracking that. And we want it to be quicker so that our low players start to become our high players and everyone starts sending out more emails every day. And I think that'll be a real good point.
We want to just increase the effectiveness of our baseline, essentially.
Absolutely. Okay, so thanks for joining us today. Thanks for your time and attention. When we get together next, we're going to try to see what the next iteration of the tool is able to do. Thanks.